I slept in. Monday. Action, action, action. Down the country road. Let's see. So, did a stream last night. Didn't really see anything. There was one shooting star, but a surprising lack of really anything going on. There was a few red and white blinkers. So, ostensibly terrestrial craft, airplanes, helicopters. They were silent though, so I don't know. But as I've said before, treasure. Ooh. Dusty. Very important. You don't just walk in the street without me. Okay, honey, just wait. 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 She's like, I know, Dad. Okay, run. Holy shit. That's what I'm talking about, honey. That's what I'm talking about. All right, here, I want to get a view. I want everybody to see this. Get a different angle. What's that going on in these people's yard? So, nice tub. Hey, you see this structure? It's kind of the shade right there. Dusty, no trespassing, honey. So who used to live there? I guess I could ask around and find out. Was it a storage thing? Was it an actual house? I see the remains of 3 rooms. Right, that central section. But then to the left and right, it looks like there was some other rooms there. Reverend Doctor, welcome back, brother. Yeah, so you were here. Was that yesterday morning at pre-dawn, the pre-dawn stream where there was finally an orb, a white orb, got captured. So you were there. You're my witness. No funny business. It was there. It was there. Let's see. What does that say? Yeah, I looped and you lost it. Hi, Miguel. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. You know, if something in the sky shows up, that's great, but otherwise, I'm just going to show you the land. We're in northern New Mexico. Oh, I forgot my walking stick. I didn't really prepare. I just woke up and... Well, I woke up a while ago, but Dusty didn't. If she doesn't want to go for the walk, I just go back to sleep. And she didn't want to. And she didn't even want to go just now, which I'm surprised, but I had to kind of chide her. Oh, what are those? Forms? This guy's doing a lot of construction. He's older than I am, and he's always at it. It's pretty good. So, come on, honey. So here's a little bit of the cemetery. Nice, peaceful place. Definitely needs more trees. If I was going to get buried, I would want to have more trees around. I don't want to just be in some sand. And I don't think I would be buried here because it really feels like it's for people who are really from here. But I don't intend on really going in the ground anyway. If I have my way, I'm gonna flash into a light being. Obi-Wan Kenobi style. Is that possible? Don't know. Seems like it. I'm not really that advanced yet. But you know, things happen. What's going on here? What's going on? Are we back? Dog. It wouldn't. You tried to reload and it wouldn't do it. Well, that's not a surprise, but you did see it when it happened, right? That's the important thing. Okay. Back to the walk. So I'm in the low gully. We're gonna try to get some elevation. Try to avoid stepping on cacti. I have some soft boots on, so these cacti can really be kind of painful. How do I get up there? Let's see. It's not really a trail, but Dusty, let's go this way, honey. Oh, she's doing her thing. Okay, so welcome to New Mexico, that far ridge there, that mountainside, whatever you might call that. That's the, what do we call that? The Valle Caldera over by Jemez and Bandelier Park and the infamous Los Alamos where all the spooky stuff goes on. This is some old glass. 7-Up, circa 1973. No, I don't know. Up. Oh, here's some more glass. Okay. Oh, there's pokies. Let's go this way, honey. Don't wrap me up, sweetie. Dusty's favorite game is to wind the leash around my legs. I don't know why that's so interesting for her. Dog humor. Oh, junior tree, you're gonna be a mighty one. Love you. Okay, so we're getting some elevation. And let's focus in. So, I contend that these features here, which are not too clear, I don't think that's regular geology. I don't think it's just sedimentary layers that have been compacted and then eroded. I think that those were built. scale is much larger than what we normally build compared to all the little houses around here. So that leads me to conclude there was larger people or entities or whatever. Let's go around this way. Oh, here comes two planes. Yep. Probably regular air traffic. Makes sense. I don't hear anything. Nice pretty piece of feldspar. Quartz inclusions. Back to the earth. Looks like they're hitting us with some stripes, playing their tic-tac-toe games. Is it treason? There's a boot print. Cool feldspar. Yeah, that was pretty. Real pink. Yeah, so what is going on with all the spray? People still don't believe that it's even happening. And I don't think they're spraying vitamins on us. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to throw the word treason around, but somebody knows. Okay, let's take a look. Kind of hard to see. Let's keep going. What I can say is when I was little, clouds weren't like that. I grew up next to Kennedy Airport, so I saw my share of planes. Yeah. LaGuardia, that was pretty close by too. Lots of planes. But these kind of greasy clouds didn't really form from contrails. They just faded, you know. But these things that linger all day long, yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. Coming up to a little hill, a little crest. We'll see about scanning the area. Maybe Sasquatch will come out. Say hello. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Lots of coyote poops on the trail. Yip, 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 yip. Coyotes. She gets so excited. Where's the coyote? Where's coyote? Coyote? I started walking up here yesterday with her, but then we were hearing the coyotes and she didn't want to come up anymore. She's always real curious about them until it's time to go and meet them. For a while there was one by my house, and I think she might have been Mama. She had a limp, which is kind of sad, but such is life. Let's take a look. Vitamin C. Hey, grateful guy. What's up, brother? You don't think it's vitamin C for our health? No. It's usually done as a fuel additive, so they don't need special planes. They can have commercial flights spread it. A fuel additive for the sake of the fuel, or for strange projects? Cobwebs in the sky. Yeah, I've seen the photos where it's separate tanks. It's planes that are rigged up with all kinds of kit and these weird squat-looking tanks, and then nozzles attached to the outside. They retrofit these planes, so it's not regular commercial jets. I mean, maybe there are some. I'm not an expert on it, but from the photos that I've seen, it's definitely, you couldn't fit passengers in these planes because they're filled with these it's almost like beer brewing vats. Anyway, side note, have you ever heard about how they don't even really use as much jet fuel because they're using compressed air? I don't know if that's I can't test the veracity of that claim. Okay, they don't fly the nozzle planes often. Not sure what the difference is. Hey, birdie, where are you? I lost you. All right, you do know what I'm talking about with those nozzle ones. Okay, back to the matter at hand. So, can you see? It's blurry. Some walls. This is what I call the giant's castles. And there's a spire over here. I'll try to put it right in the center. My other phone has much better camera, but it's not hooked up to cell service at this time. And when I try to piggyback a hotspot from this phone to that one, people complain, so I don't know, I guess the data gets jumbled. So maybe at some point I'll be able to upgrade. But anyhow, the sandy ridgeline there, that's not natural. That was done in the 60s for erosion control. And I say they probably use that as an excuse to blow up and bury some stuff, and then these other things maybe just too damn big. There's certain times to really do this. I missed it at sun up and sundown. The angles really come out when the light hits them just right. Yeah, and like this spire here, I wish that you could see this. Where is it? Yeah, it looks like the top of an old cathedral. You could see what I mean. Thank you. So, now there's a layer with a kind of a white cap stripe. I'm guessing that is calcium carbonate. Yeah, so it seems like this whole place got flooded, I think after it got fried. Whether that was plasma discharge from some kind of heavenly body, or maybe, well, you know, the Bhagavad Gita and those kinds of books, they have stories about Vimanas and battles that were going These guys were flying around and whooping each other up. So it could have been stuff like that. But these hills also kind of look like they could have been structures that got completely melted. But that scale is just completely out of reach. But these ones here, those look like, you know, whoever built those was, they were probably big, but not like hundreds of feet tall. Maybe 20, 30 feet. And, there's a little church. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. So this little church, we walk by that, and it's not a small building, but compared to those things, it looks like something off a little train set. All right, so let's look this way. This is East Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Blood of Christ. Kind of a creepy name. Grateful Guy, you've seen a lot of ruins that are supposedly natural all over the US. Excellent. Do you document any of that stuff? I haven't really checked out your channel, but I've been seeing your name for a while, and I want to give you a lot of thanks for popping in on that Dead and Company post, my critique of them continuing to play in Vegas, for folks who don't know what we're talking about. So Grateful Dead now has offshoot band called Dead and Company. They've been going for 10 years now, and they're playing in Vegas at this place, I'll call it the Ball, right? It's a nice arena, but honestly, tickets, low-end tickets are $150, and then it goes up over $400, close to $500. I think $469 was it. So by the time that your ticket and your hotel, like $1,000 a day just to see a concert, come on. This is just ridiculous. And Vegas sucks. It's not a healthy environment. But I was catching a lot of shade. I get people telling me, oh, just be happy. And these guys are old. And I'm like, Bobby's the only old one in the band. And he's not like lurching around. That dude is nimble. And he was just at a show for Halloween. He was at Swanee. Because they're saying, oh, they need to have amenities and just be able to go from the arena right to a hotel room, like they're gonna be wheeled on a gurney or something. And I'm saying no, he's clearly demonstrating that he could play at festivals, because I'm saying for the price of to make this cool rock, looks like we got some feldspar and a little bit of quartz, maybe. That dark thing, what's this, some iron? Blood of the Titans. Anyway, so yeah, this spheroid assembly hall that they've got is totally overdone, and I'm saying you could build 3 or 4 arenas and have some natural features, some water, trees, really cool place for us to gather. For if we're gonna do a month, 2, 3 months at a time in one city, let's make it someplace that's really a pleasure to be around, and not just dump a bunch of money into the hands of people who honestly don't deserve it. That Vegas is a shitty place. They had the opportunity to make that place paradise, but instead they made it a superficial. Um, it's all decrepit. Even when it's brand new, if you knock on it, if you tap on it, you could hear how hollow and junky all this stuff is. That Luxor hotel that was supposed to be such a big deal when it went up, and now I hear that the rooms suck. It's a piece of shit. It hasn't been updated. Circus, they might have already turned that down. That lived a long time. It was a cute place, but it's kind of dingy. And so Vegas isn't about upkeeping. They just tear shit down and build another monstrosity. I don't like it. It doesn't suit the values of what I associate with being a deadhead, which was, um, you know, camaraderie, camping, not just hiding in hotel rooms and crushing up and snorting pills. So I don't know. I don't know what's happened to the dead scene. You know, I got in, it was 87, and at that time, the people were like, "Oh no, it hasn't been good since Pigpen died," and it's like, oh, okay. So every generation thinks like, "Oh, it was good when I was doing it, but now it's not good." Well, I don't know. I'm ranting. Dusty wants to go down. Let's go down. Well, I gave you a view. Oh, what do we got here? Grateful Guy. It does seem to represent more of what it's become than what it should be. Their groupies are tripping or not and still elevated, so sensitive to these sort of vibes. Um, and Reverend's saying not really old, but maybe burned out a bit. You're talking about these structures? I mean, I'd say it doesn't look new, that's for sure. And whatever happened probably was, um, probably had some time to it. I don't know. Anyway, I want to talk about the dead. Um, oh, the band is burned out a bit. No, so I mean, Mickey and Billy, the drummers, yeah, okay, they're burned out. Billy living in Hawaii, he's doing all right. Mickey, yeah, he seems like he's slowing down, but probably, so he dropped out of the band, and Jay Lane took his place. There was kind of a transition there. Um, I don't know if those guys are supposed to be back in the band. In which case, I still think that we could. My contention is, all right, let's pick 3 or 4 cities. Well, not cities, excuse me. Smaller towns that could use the boost of an influx of people, money, and energy, and then improve a place. All the money that the Deadheads are going to bring to Vegas is just going to get swallowed up, and it's going to go to interests of it. Nobody's going to see the benefit of that. Very few people, and whatever kind of deals that they have their hands in over the years, I don't get a good feeling from it. So I say you pick some towns that would benefit from having a new or renovate some old, like in Santa Fe we have the Downs. The Dead used to play at the Downs, the horse racing thing, and it's still standing, but I guess because of the asbestos they're afraid to tear it down, so it just sits there. Now, I'm not suggesting that particular spot be done, but I think that around the country there's going to be a lot of places that can be brought into a new state. Yeah, my main thing is having nature be a part of the scene and not just have everybody hiding back in little boxes. And for folks who are aged and who need to be in controlled environments, okay, so I mean, towns do have hotels, right? Um, Even still, for the money that went into the Sphere, you could basically build a town from scratch and have all the hotels and accommodations. Um, it just, it just seems really phony. And I question, you know, oh, I don't know how to put this the right way, so I'll jump to when I go to these dead shows. There's not really the freaks that there used to be, and that was my favorite part. The audience, the people would be in the hallway grooving out. They wouldn't even be watching the band. But now it seems like it's a lot of spectators who are really kind of satisfied with their lives. They're either living on credit entirely, they've gotten approval for certain kinds of, whether it's loans or whatever it is. They're living at a level that they don't really have to they don't have to participate much. They can be in full spectator mode and just expect that they be catered to. And to me, that's not really what being a deadhead was ever about. Deadheads were kind of scrappy, resourceful, work together to make things happen. Ooh, don't fall down here. Dusty wants to go. Yeah, good idea. Change your mind, honey. Yeah, so back to the point. It seems like the people who are attending the shows are maybe a little bit complacent and effete, and the hard scrabble heads aren't there. And I've, over the years, I've talked to plenty of people who used to love going to see the Dead and aren't going anywhere near that stuff now. Whether they don't like Johnny Mayer's style, or whatever it is, they don't want to contribute to it, and I can kind of understand why. So, will I be going? I don't think so. I saw 2 shows. I went for 3 nights, saw 2 shows, and that's good. I got to see it. The place is too bright. I don't like they've got the giant screen inside and they're showing projections, and that's neat and all. But honestly, I don't want some media company directing my trip and just having their digital visions dominate my psyche and my mental space. And yeah, so the second show that I went there, I actually was underneath. I was in the 106 section, so that's beneath the balcony, and so it blocks a bunch of the overhead screen, and I was quite happy with that. You see a little bit behind the band. It's kind of like you see about as much as a movie screen, and I was cool with that because I close my eyes anyway. But the seats in the upper areas, it's too steep. You definitely can't groove out. I mean, maybe you could kind of shimmy side to side. That's not what it's about for me. I mean, like I was saying before, I used to like to be where the freaks were, and the spinners and stuff, even though they're a whole bag of their own. But it was still fun. It was participatory. It wasn't just a bunch of narcissists geeking out. Here's another cool rock. Dusty, hang on a sec. Yeah. Little sunset ridge there. Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Mother Nature. Where are you going, honey? That's a dog right there. Check the chat. You know what I mean. it's tough sometimes to criticize what you love without getting pounced on. It's from a place of love, though. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I say, a lot of people just have moved on. They're not interested. It doesn't suit their needs. The music isn't the same. It got really slow there for a few years, and it was almost like they were trying to slough off people. Um, and so, people love it wherever they're at. I'm not trying to box people in, but I'm just giving my impressions that the scene is just, it could be so much more. When I was at Fare Thee Well in 2015, that third night, I didn't get in the show, so I was out walking around and stuff. But when I was watching the crowd of people getting out of the show and coming down and descending into Chicago, and I was like, wow, there's 80 to 100,000 people right here. Just this mass of humanity moving through. I said, if we really wanted to, I don't know if collectivize is the right word, but if we wanted to pool our resources together, we would have our own nation, right? Because that was just 80 to 100,000 people there attending that event. That wasn't counting all the thousands of people in all the other cities, just in the US. And there's heads all over the world, right? So we're missing an opportunity. And we're just kind of being led around by movers and shakers who are really just interested in ameliorating their own interests. Church time, for sure. Time to rise. Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't have to be when you say time to rise, it almost kind of seems like a Che Guevara kind of like power to the people kind of thing. But what I'm talking about is even a little more subtle. I'm not saying that's what you were saying, but I mean, we could rise and ascend and just, level up. Yeah, my contention with deadheads is a lot of deadheads think that they're really on the cutting edge of something, and maybe at some time they were, but I see a lot of conformists. I see a lot of people who are really just, all they're interested in is either getting fucked up or just having frivolous needs met, vanity. And it's kind of funny though, and there's a big political division between the fans, between the left and the right, and for a long time now I say, two wings, one bird, same claws. And so, or the bird's wearing boots. And so, 39 minutes, almost 40 minutes we've been doing this. But yeah, who's here? It's just Rev and GG. The screen seems off to you. Wooks. Wooks, I'm friendly with a bunch of Wooks over the years. Yeah, some people would think that I'm a Wook, but then other people think that I'm a cop. So that was kind of funny, because I didn't have, I had cut off the naughty hair and all that stuff. and I kind of like to dress in just. I'm not trying to look like a vagabond all the time. But then, yeah, when I would be around Wooks, they would think like, "Who's this guy? He's not a real head." And it's like, dude, I've been doing this since before you were born. What are you saying? Um, oh, low battery. That's garbage. I came out. I had 100%. Um, level up. Thank you for the tour. Just a bunch of narcissists geeking out isn't all of it, but it does explain it too well. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm really making generalizations. Dusty, you getting tied up, honey? That's, you can figure it out. You'll figure it out. Yeah. There's something about the spirit of sharing and camaraderie that on the surface might still be there, but I don't feel like I don't feel the sincerity of it. I feel like people are closed off. They just come in, see the show, go back into their little worlds, and then brag about it to their family and friends who didn't get to go. And I don't know, maybe somebody would say that's what I'm doing. But my favorite shows were, they always had a natural component to them. I loved Saratoga, the Gorge. I didn't get to see Deer Creek or Buckeye or Alpine Valley, but I recognize that those places were legendary. And so, how do we bring back that kind of feeling to attending these things? Now, yeah, there was one lady, she shows up at least 2 times to criticize my statements, saying they're old. Don't you see? Don't you have a grandmother? And I'm like, dude, look at my photo. I have gray hair, gray beard. I'm over half a century old. If I had kids, I would have grandkids by now. So, but here I am. I'm climbing up on the hills. You know, I can ride a bike. I can skateboard. I'm not I'm not looking to go to a convalescent home just yet. And for the folks who are, let's have those amenities for them. But to think like that's all that it is that these guys are old. I mean, I know that Jeff Chimenti, he's a golfer, right? So he's staying active, even though golf is kind of a tuned out type of sport. Um, yeah, that was my rant about that. Dear Bobby and company, let's uh, let's figure out a new plan. That's nice. You're gonna do settling into Vegas again. What are those numbers gonna add up to? Let's check it out. By the end of 2025, let's see just how much is income the right word? How much revenue was generated by all this stuff that will never be a part of the dead scene again? It's just gonna go to the hands of what Lucky Luciano's kids, grandkids. Um, no, they're playing you guys. They're just using you. So yeah, for the price of one arena in Vegas, which doesn't really have its own hotel, the Venetian was already there, right? We could we could build something else. Yeah, and put them strategically placed around the nation that they could be accessible by people from different areas. So I had a commenter who said, "Oh, I'm from Georgia. Nothing like that can happen here." And I'm like, Georgia has a lot of open land. There's a lot of beautiful trees. There's lakes. So I don't know. And yeah, and over this way, a couple hours, 3 hours away, 3.5 hours is Tico Time, one of my favorite places. which is not large. It only fits 10,000 people, which is not too tiny. But yeah, there's properties adjacent to Tecotime, which the farmers and ranchers there, they complain about the noise anyway. So some of the people in the scene who have deep pockets could buy up those properties, expand Tecotime, and we could do it there. And then we got the river coming right through, the Animas River. Durango's 20 minutes to the north. Aztec is, 10 minutes to the south. So we could get groceries, there's hotels. It doesn't have to be everybody camping in RVs or in tents or whatever. But it would be nice to have that be at least accessible for the portion of the heads who still want to live like that, right? And who still live, but they're not coming to this, they're not coming to be a part of that scene because they've given up on it, because they feel like the dead has given up on them. Maybe. It's just like, I kind of feel like, yeah, the dead and the upper echelons of the dead family, they're complacent, they've they've got their farms in Oregon and California and their ranches and whatever, and they can just kind of hide out and pop in once in a while to these shows. Dusty, you want to go home? All right, let's go. The coolest people from the dead scene are not there, as far as I can tell. I'm not saying that I'm the coolest one there. I'm just a speck, right? A little dust mote. But I put my heart into it. People like when I sing, and so that's why I go. But I can be quite content seeing cover bands. On the 21st, I'm gonna go see Let It Grow. Well, it's a mashup. The guys from Let It Grow and Extra Ticket from Arizona. So they're gonna have a little wingding throwdown. And for the 10 or 20 bucks for that, I'm gonna put in as much of my heart and soul, if not more so, than just being swallowed up by the mass in Vegas. Yeah, so I say support your local cover bands, and even outside of the dead scene. There's great music coming out all the time. Here where I am, we get some good cumbia. There's Frontera Boogaloo, who relocated from El Paso, and I've seen them a handful of times. That's an amazing show. We've got Nosotros, which does a variety of different Latin music. And it's always a dance party. And this is my other thing. I think, yeah, so I would like to see a festival where you've got your dead music, and then in between have other kinds of music. Have an Afro-Caribbean band, have Latin band, maybe some Hindi sitar music, that kind of thing. Definitely have to start the day and end the day with some native drumming. And I think every festival that happens in North America should definitely open up with native drumming, and it really sets the vibe. Because it's not just about blanking out, getting trashed. We're trying to expand consciousness and make the best memories as possible. Blanking out and just like waking up and saying, "Oh, what happened last night? Well, my money's all gone. I must have had a good time." It's kind of shallow. So it's sunny out here, but it's chilly. Okay, let's see what the lives burn battery fast. Thank you for the tour. You're welcome, Rev. Thanks for joining. So weird how so many people don't seem to want to experience anything while they're there anymore. People all recording with cell phones at shows is crazy to me. Like, enjoy the show. Yeah, I'm with you there. It does feel empty of family, but full of people sometimes. Oh yeah, there's plenty of people. And, you know, everybody's welcome to enjoy it for what it is. But would I be off the mark by saying that all the people who used to do tour, I don't think that really is. I bet it's 1% of the. No, all the people who are doing these shows are professional class, which is excellent. You know, you work hard, and you were able to put together some change. So enjoy your life. Great. But turning it into this exclusive thing where the price of admission is just way out of the means of regular people who were the ones who really created the scene. It wasn't a bunch of spectators who made the scene, who just show up for a night and, you know, pick up a t-shirt and, you know, the heads on lot. They refer to that crowd as custies, right? Just custies who were there to buy the stickers and t-shirts, and then they're gone. They're not going to be at the next show. And I wasn't a big tour head, you know. I was kind of a vacation head. Every year, you know, maybe pick 3 cities and go. And so maybe that's stuck in my head. So I'm thinking now, yeah, just do 3 cities. But instead of 2 or 3 nights, yeah, settle in for weeks at a time. I think 4 cities would be better though, 1 for each season. And yeah, settle in. People could put down some roots. Maybe people fall in love with these little towns and they decide, all right, I'm done with living in. Dusty loves going in here. What is it, baby? What do you love about this? This decrepit basketball court, but I think it'll make a nice skate park in here. Hint, hint. Am I hot? Am I cold? I'm cold, but I'm sweating. So, yeah, gonna wrap it up soon. I think I'll just go until the battery dies. It sounds like there's some promotion and throw some festivals. You know, I would definitely put in the energy. I just don't have the means. And I don't run in the circles with people with deep pockets. You see where I am. I'm in the dust. But I have a mind. If I had a team to implement some ideas, yeah, I could put in the work and make some legendary events happen. I used to dream about this in the 90s when I was living in Durango. There was a festival. Years after, I wound up working for this guy, Bill Ridgway, this old horse trader. Real character. Rest in peace, Bill. He would put on these little festivals. In Durango, there was, north of town was this red fort. Who knows how long it had sat there, but it was right along the river, and I'm sure it must have been an influence on the dude who owns Tico Time, Robert. I'm not sure, but I can imagine that it was, because the Red Fort, the festivals that went on there were fun. Yeah, and there would be people. You just go down and sit in the river for a while, and then go back and see the music. And I used to live in the Hudson Valley in New York, and I remember being at a festival in the town of Woodstock, so not where the huge festivals were going on, but just a quaint little festival. I can't even remember what it was called, but it also had the river right there, and those people stripped down all their clothes, and it's just very peaceful and beautiful, and nature was a part of the show, the event. It wasn't just, all right, people, get in, buy your $20 cup of beer, pack in all the pills that you can, because you can't bring weed and all this stuff. That was kind of disappointing. And when I would see shows, right, because I saw shows in Vegas from the 90s, and then further tour, I saw shows in Vegas. Before even this Dead and Company at Spheroid Hall, I saw Mickey Hart's band in Vegas. And it just sucks there. I remember we used to go and camp out at Lake Mead, but there's no shade out there. And so by the time that 8, 9 in the morning comes, it's death. It's not conducive to really having a lively, memorable experience. It's like, oh, let's get out of here. Let's get back to Vegas and try to get a $2.99 breakfast, which that isn't gonna happen. Good luck getting breakfast from less than $30. Vegas sucks. If people want to go and do that, by all means, enjoy yourself, make the best memories ever. I'm not gonna do it, I don't think. If it turns out circumstances are just right, if Bobby wants to get me tickets to get in there so we can have a powwow, but I'm not spending $450 for one night's entertainment. This is ridiculous. This is coming from people who grew up in Manhattan and going to Broadway shows and whatever, where you're just rolling off hundreds of dollars a day just to take taxis around. That's bullshit, man. That's not Deadhead Scene. That's its own thing. And I'm not comfortable with it. So if the New Yorkers and the Bay Area people want to all meet at Vegas and blank out, that's their trip. But if any of the Deadheads want to be in nature and be at festivals where it's really about the people again and not just I'm frustrated with it. That's cool. Would I feel the same if I was rolling in dough? I think so. I'm not the kind of person to just climb the ladder and then pull it up behind after me. I've had different amounts of money. I've had more money in the past than I do now, and I am more spiritually grounded now than at those times, I think. So it's not a inverse proportion, but there is something to be said that when people have a lot of extra money, they don't really fucking care about people who don't. Philanthropy doesn't go anywhere. It's just ego satisfaction. All those charities, they just feed themselves. They pass the money from charity to charity, foundation to foundation, and then the people are still sleeping in the street. Other countries are still deteriorating. This is a nice property. This is where the goats live. Say hi to the goats, Dusty. Check the chat. Vegas to me seems like everyone was just trying to get all they could. To get all they could in terms of um, experience or stuff or chemicals. I don't know. That place is. That's what it makes people into, though. It's like, oh, hey, goat. Try to show these goats. It makes people into these consumerist monsters. It's just a bad vibe town. It's not. It's not cool there. And Hunter Thompson did his thing on Vegas, and I think that people got the wrong message from that. They think Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and wow, this guy, he just got tanked and he could barely even walk straight. Isn't that cool? I want to try to be like that. And so they idealize this version um, of being ahead, which is just completely narcissistic, obnoxious, and not kind, really. Does anybody remember when deadheads were kind? And even people who weren't deadheads would put up deadheads at their house or their farm or whatever because the heads were cool to have around. Creative, friendly. I mean, again, so I'm being nostalgic, but that's not like that anymore. Hasn't been like that for 21 years at least. I remember I went to see shows in Fort Lauderdale and Tampa. I was visiting because I was already living out here, out in the West, Colorado. And so I was going to stay with family friends in Tampa. And so after the show, I contacted, and I had met a lady, and I was gonna bring her to visit with friends of my parents, right? And whereas years before they probably would have been glad they changed their mind. They didn't want me. They thought I was gonna bring a whole troop of heads. It was like, no, it's just me and my new girl. But they didn't want to have it because even by then